Welcome to episode 74 of Tritoncast, the podcast for UC San Diego Athletics. Our guest today is men's basketball center Emmanuel Tshimanga. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to chat about your story today and talk about how you got to UC San Diego and your basketball journey. But let's start with the beginning. How old were you when you started playing basketball?
I always give people two answers when it comes to that because I really started playing around with the ball when I was just a kid. I would say about 3-4 years old. But really starting to play and focus on, trying to get better and trying to be good for real. That was when I was 15 and the year I moved over to America from Canada.
So you grew up in Montreal, and basketball is clearly not the big sport there. I think we know that.
Yeah.
So was it a challenge finding teams and places to play?
It was a little bit of a challenge because you could always play for a boys and girls club or a little club team, but it wasn't really made for people that want to go far in basketball. It was kind of just you play for fun, and then, time goes on and you start focusing on studies. So it wasn't as easy finding clubs there, but one of my big brothers is my legal guardian, and he's the one that kind of placed us in these situations to be able to start persevering in basketball.
So when you were younger than 15, were you playing other sports?
Oh, yeah, actually. I played soccer was my first sport. I had to start off with soccer because I used to watch a lot of Messi. Messi's my favorite player. And I played football after that, and I started playing basketball and football around the same time. And I had to drop football later on because it was getting too busy for me. Playing basketball and football, and then taking the hits from football and going on the basketball court to try to play with the hits that came from football. So I was like, I'm just going to decide between one of the sports, and I had to go with basketball given the height that I had.
Were you always on the taller side amongst your peers?
I always was. I think I was about 5'8" when I was in the 5th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of people were, adults are 5'8", and they were like, oh, how old is this kid?
So growing up in Montreal, that culture, French is the predominant language, although English is spoken, so I presume you're bilingual.
Yep, I am.
Do you think first in French?
I actually think first in French, translate to English in my head, and then speak out what I want to say.
And just being around you, traveling with the team on the road and so on, I certainly see you on your phone speaking French all the time. Is it easy for you at this point to kind of toggle back and forth between the two?
It's easy now because I've been doing it for a while. And I would even say that we made the language Franglish with my family because we're all bilingual now. So we kind of speak with both French and English in the same sentences. So that kind of makes it easier for me to switch from one to another.
And you said that you were about 15 when you started to get a little more serious about basketball. Were you good right away, or did it take some time to learn the game?
Oh, no. I was not good at all. I thought I was good until I came here and saw all these AAU teams and, the Adidas Gauntlet, the Nike UYBL. I was like, okay, I need to put some work in. And so I didn't play my first year of high school. I just trained with my brother. And after that whole year, we started playing in AAU programs in the summer. Me and my little brother, we moved together.
So when did you move to the U.S.?
It was, I remember, October 2015. Moved to Phoenix, Arizona. And my dad came down there with us, with my legal guardian, which is my older brother. Just to make sure we were okay. And once he left is when the real work started. I went to charter school my first year. And we would wake up every day at 5 a.m., go work out at 6. After the workout, we take a shower, go to school. After school, there's a little the office is open where the principal is. We'd go in there and do all our homework and then get picked up from school and go straight to the gym And
Wow.
yeah, and then from the gym, then go back home, shower, sleep, do it again.
So, with your brother, your legal guardian, moving to the U.S., was that to play basketball? Is that why you moved here?
Yeah, that was
Wow.
that was the purpose of this move, to pursue basketball as a career, but also being an athlete, because being a scholar athlete, because school matters as well. You know, school's always top priority, because without an education, you don't have much. So we just focus on both the school and the basketball to I would say go forward further in the future.
What went into that decision to move to another country and away from family to pursue a sport? That couldn't have been an easy decision.
It wasn't easy, because I remember when it was a couple months before that, we were actually supposed to, me and my little brother, when I say we, it's me and my little brother, because we moved together. We were supposed to go to a school in New York, I think it was, and it didn't go through. And at that time, I was like, okay, I didn't really want to leave at that time, so I was like, okay, it didn't go through. That's good.
You were relieved.
Yeah, I was relieved. I was like, okay, more time with my friends. School year is about to start, and because the school year starts around beginning of September, end of August, back in Montreal for elementary school. Not elementary school, I mean high school.
Yeah.
And so when we started that school year, that's when, my dad talked to us and said, there's opportunity to go. And he did it smart. He asked my little brother and me separately to make sure because if we were together, we would have said, all right, like, are we going or not?
Right,
if somebody goes with the yes, we would have went with the yes. So he asked us separately. And I had made the decision to go. I was like, all right, like, I'll go. Like, I think it's time to start, making something for myself. And my little brother thought I would say no, so he said no. And after that, we all had a meeting together, and it was like, okay, well, he's gonna be going. And he ended up being like, oh, yeah, well, if he goes, then I'll go too. And so we stuck together and left. But it's just hard in terms of dropping everything and kind of dropping everything you are to move to a new spot of your life. It's out of your comfort zone, so it's something that's pretty hard to deal with.
Well, and there are many similarities between the United States and Canada, but certainly there are many differences as well, and especially coming from Quebec, which is French Canada, is very different. So moving there to Arizona, what were some of the biggest adjustments that you had to kind of figure out on the fly?
How to speak English.
That's a pretty big one.
How to speak English is probably the first one. I knew a little bit of English, but I just like to say that I didn't know English, because, knowing how to say, hey, bye, might please go to the restroom is not really understanding English. And so I had to learn. I remember the very first time I was in the airport, I went to Starbucks, and I wanted to get the Frappuccino. They got the whipped cream on there. They got it looks good. So I was like, I want that one. And I got up to the counter, and after I ordered, I was waiting for my order to get back, and it was an iced green tea.
Oh no.
Yeah, iced green tea. And I looked over and I was like, you know what? I don't even know what to say to them. I don't know English good enough to change the drink into what I want. And so from there, I was like, you know what, this is going to be my lesson. I won't order until I know enough English to order again. And so eventually my first English order was at Chipotle. I'll never forget it.
What'd you get?
I actually got a chicken bowl. I know it was corn in there. I had to put they have the little salsa with tomatoes and onions.
The pico.
Yeah, that pico.
And is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I wanted.
Good.
So that's why I was happy. I was like, I got what I wanted, and I'm about to demolish it right now. So
That was the best bowl you'd ever had.
man, couldn't have said it better.
So did you drink the green tea? Did you try it?
I took a sip and threw
Not so much.
it.
Not so
took a
much.
sip and tossed it.
So living in Arizona, at the time. How often were you speaking with family? I mean, this was, many years ago, obviously, so technology was a little different too.
Yeah. Fun fact: I didn't get a phone until I was 15, which was when I moved over to Arizona. So that's how I'd communicate with them. But I got it taken, for
Uh-oh.
a little,
Uh-oh.
little behavior stuff going on. Just I was getting disciplined,
Yeah.
and so the times that I didn't have my phone, I would mostly just use my brother's phone as somebody to call. I called my dad and my other siblings until I was able to get my own device. Then you see me on the trips. We FaceTime all the time. It's a real close family, so we make sure to talk to each other a lot.
So how long, when you first went to Arizona, how long before you went back to Montreal to visit?
It was actually 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 years until I went back to visit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, from 2015 till today, I don't really go back home that much, because not that I don't have the time, but I'd rather work out and try to chase my dreams. Even though I know my dad will travel sometimes and come see us, but I have a big vision of what I want to do, and to get there is going to require some sacrifices, which I've made my fair share of it, but I still got more to make. But I mean, it's okay. It's okay to be away from home. I got used to it now. I just make sure to talk to my dad, talk to my siblings, and when we're all together, even if it's on the phone, it feels like home.
That's amazing. At what point would you say you got comfortable speaking English on the regular?
I would probably say it took me until like 2017, because after that year in Arizona, we went to a prep school up in East LA, Rebay Academy. Yeah, we went there, and by the time we got there, I felt like I had enough knowledge of the language to speak properly. I didn't know everything. I mean, till this day, sometimes I still stutter and all that stuff, but I'm okay with it as long as I get my point across. So.
Absolutely, and that makes perfect sense. I mean, we all struggle with the language, I think, sometimes. But so, was the plan all along to get a scholarship and play in college and so on? Is that when you came to the U.S.? Was that the intention?
I don't want to sound what's the word for it? Like I don't want to sound like I'm hyping myself up, but it's kind of a part of the plan to get a scholarship because I mean we put in a lot of work. I could say for everybody who plays basketball in my family, so it was kind of I knew I was going to get a scholarship because I knew the work that I was putting in, and I knew that putting in that work would make sure I don't have to worry about, all right, am I going to get seen? Or, all I have to do is just play and showcase what I've been working on. So, getting the scholarship was part of the plan for the bigger picture.
So you went through the recruiting process, and what was that like? You ultimately chose UC Irvine. What went into that decision?
It's just more, looking at where you see yourself fit and where you see yourself getting better. And to me, it's not, there's all the high majors, mid majors, low majors, D1, D2, but everybody has a place where, you okay, I feel like I'm going to fit in this program. And so you go up there and, you do your thing, you see how it works out for you. So it's just a learning experience for, no matter where you go. And I feel like that's kind of how I took it. I'm like, okay, I feel like this is a good opportunity for me, and I'm going to explore it. And that's why I chose to go that way.
We'll get to UC San Diego in a moment, but being a University of California school, we are allowed to say that UC Irvine's a good academic school as well. So how did you fit in there, and what was that adjustment like, being at a tough academic school in not your native language while trying to play Division I basketball?
Yeah, well, I would say that I've been a good student ever since I moved to the United States because, I mean, back in Montreal, not that I was bad, but I didn't really put as much effort into school as I did once I moved here because I was like, okay, like I was out of my comfort zone and I'm starting anew, so now I have to really, put my head into it and study. So when I got to UC Irvine, to me it was like, okay, well, it's just another school, it's just another institution. So I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do the best I can, and if the best I can do is not enough, I'm just gonna ask for help to get to enough because I feel like there's nothing you can't do. So yeah, it was kind of easy for me to get in there. Not that the classes were easy, but when you work hard at something, it makes it easy.
And then in terms of the basketball, playing at Big West School in Division One, what was that adjustment like? I mean, do you feel like you made that progression and you were ready for what lied ahead there?
Yeah, I was hurt my first year. I had a surgery, so I kind of got to sit back and observe everybody. And of course, being a freshman, you watch the seniors and juniors, and they kind of show you how things are done. So I kind of took that first year to observe and learn from everybody, to make sure that when it was my turn to go, I had a better understanding of the game. And I mean, I was overweight. I was overweight for a good minute. So sitting back and watching also gave me a chance to, see what it takes, the work that it takes to do what the other guys were doing. So it kind of gave me motivation for when I was going to be back to playing.
So is it fair to say maybe it was almost a blessing that you weren't able to play that first year?
I can say that, yes, because it was my first big injury. Like I had a surgery on my right foot, and it was kind of eye opening because before that I never thought I could get hurt. I'm like, I'm playing every game. I'm never taking a game off. So when that happened, I was like, okay, this is an eye opener. And it actually made me focus on school a bit more because I realized that any day, you could just, God forbid, but you could get hurt and, your career's done. And you have to rely on the academics, which is what I was saying earlier. School is very important. So yeah, just taking it serious in the classroom also gives me a perspective of performing hard on the court because I believe that who you are kind of reflects in everything you do. And so if you work hard in the classroom or on the court, it's going to reflect on each other and vice versa. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of.
That's a really mature and adult kind of approach, but that makes so much sense. Emmanuel Tshimanga is our guest this week on Tritoncast. So you play at UC Irvine, your second year there, and at some point along the way, you make a decision to look elsewhere. What was the process like? What went into your decision to finally consider playing and going and finishing your academic career at another school?
It's a lot of thinking that went into the process because it's a lot of, especially when you get into the transfer portal, it's a lot of people talking left and right, and then you start getting worried like about did I make the wrong decision maybe, or what if nobody wants me, or you start worrying about a lot of things. And I feel like what I did is my brothers visited me. Two of my brothers visited me after I had my surgery, and so it made the process easier because I got to sit down and relax and just think about everything and think about the next spot that I was going to be at. And I was just looking for, a place that would also help me get better because Irvine did help me get better a lot. I mean, I made a lot of progress over there. And they have good guys over there, good people. And so I was like, okay, I want something that's going to be good or even better than that. And, you know, one thing that really intrigued me in this school is the sports medicine, because, of course, I was hurt at the time, but I know sometimes I have little stuff that's going on. Maybe the arm is not feeling good, and I knew in my head that, okay, since they're very good with sports medicine, maybe they could give me the little tricks to keep yourself healthy, and not have to deal with those little knick-knack injuries. And then secondly is just the people here. That's one of the first things I observed when I came on my visit was what type of people are here, what type of coaches are on the staff, how do they communicate. And I just felt genuine love. I felt genuine love from the staff and from the people that were with me when I was over here on my visit. And that's one of the main things, because outside of basketball, you need people that'll view you as more than that basketball player. And that's exactly what I got from the coaches here, and even some of the teammates that I now have.
So you decide to come to UC San Diego. What was that transition like for you in terms of, again, settling in at a new place where you didn't know a lot of people and so on?
It was hard. It was hard at first. I'm still coming back from my injury, and then I'm living in the dorms. And I think the month of July, the guys had off, so I was one of the only guys on campus. And as lonely as it was also exciting, because I knew that I had some time to, just put my head down and work. And so that was a very interesting process, and it taught me a lot about myself, actually, because I had a lot of time to, just sit in the quiet, be by myself, try to learn new things. And I learned a lot about the ability of the mind, is how I'm going to say. Just how far your mind can get you if you keep feeding it.
That's so interesting. Your major here is sociology. What is it that you want to do upon graduation? I know continuing to play is certainly on that list.
Sorry, camera, but I don't know yet what I want to do. But
that's okay.
I'm figuring it out. Just observing a lot of different areas of work. I mean, sociology is a pretty broad topic, because there's pretty much sociology behind everything. It's the study of society, and society is where everything is going on. So I don't know what I'll do with it yet, but I feel like I can go a lot of ways with it, and I don't necessarily have to go in a domain that, involves sociology. Like, I can use my sociology and my athlete experience to maybe coach. I know coaching is one of the things that I'd like to do, but other than that, in terms of working somewhere, I don't know yet.
Is your intention longer term to stay in the U.S.?
Long term, yeah. Yeah, I plan on staying in the U.S., but I still want to be visiting back home, which I'll do way more often once school's done, because I think I'm going to be a professional athlete. I know it. And you'll have, your little breaks or times where you don't have to be with the team. I want to make sure to get some of those breaks and spend them with my dad, go back home, see family, uncles, cousins, and, just having more free time, I would say. Because now in school, it's a little hard. You have quarters. And I'm always in summer school. I like to, get extra credits, get ahead. And doing that takes away from the time that I have for vacation.
Of course, yeah.
A fun fact, actually, I've never been on a vacation. Just to go and hang out for a week or two. I've never been on a vacation yet, so I'm excited. It's coming. I think it's coming up soon. I think so.
Where do you have on your list? Where do you want to go? Whenever that is.
I heard a lot of places, man. A lot of my friends been in a lot of places. Like, man, listen, you got to try this place. I think I want to I want to go to like Cancun and see what it's like out there. But I know my ultimate dream place I want to go is Dubai. I want to go to Dubai and see what it's like. I know I seen this thing that we're talking about, making a kind of like a indoor outdoor city. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Because of the weather, sure.
Yeah. So I really want to visit that place, and there's more places I would go, but those are most definitely the top two.
Fascinating. We'll have to report back once you go and let us know what you found.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I want to chat with you about one of your teammates, Jerron Brooks, who also transferred here to UC San Diego, of course, a year before you did. A big guy as well. He was out with an injury. Did you two form a bond and kind of help each other through your struggles?
Absolutely. I didn't know him as much because I looked at the roster as soon as I saw UC San Diego was pursuing me, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna see who's there. And then I seen him, and I seen that he didn't play because being in the Big West, we also play at UCSD.
Right.
So actually, when I came on my visit, he was my first host for dinner. I forgot where we went to dinner, but he was the host. And just there, we started talking a little bit, and he told me how like he wasn't playing because he was hurt. But just based off that conversation we had on that first time, I feel like we had a lot in common, and I knew that he was going to be a guy that was going to push me when I get here, and it's exactly what he's been doing. And ever since I've been here, we've been forming an even closer bond, and I'm grateful for that.
And so while you were still not 100% coming back from injury, he unfortunately got hurt again in just before Christmas, and so he's been out for a while. Have you been kind of helping him and keeping his spirits up?
Yeah, I mean, I always, no matter who it is, I'll always try to cheer somebody up. I know it's hard because I've been there, and obviously he's been there too, so it might be a little harder. But you always got to help remind your peers that it's not over. It's not over. It's just a little setback, yeah, but the comeback's gonna be even better. And I feel like he knows it. He knows it too, and I'm really excited to get back on the court with him whenever he gets healthy. So I hope he gets healthy quickly.
And that the sentiment that you have that you were just sharing about how you feel towards him, it really could go towards the entire team in that this season there have definitely been some challenges, but the team has been in every game right there and just haven't always gotten over the hump. So how have you as a group stayed confident and stayed positive and not just become overly frustrated? Because clearly like the effort is still there.
Yeah. You just got to go out and play. At the end of the day, we're here for a reason, and we see it as more than, either you win or you lose. Like we trying to hoop, so we come in every day. Even if you lost the last game, like you got to be able to get over it and get ready for the next one, no matter the result. And yeah, we hate losing, but you play as hard as you can every night. Eventually you're gonna get a couple wins.
Emmanuel Tshimanga is our guest on Tritoncast. You ready for some quick picks?
All righty, let's do it.
Ocean or pool?
Ocean.
Beach or mountains?
Beach. I don't want to look at no mountains.
Sunrise or sunset?
Ooh, I'm a sunset guy. I love to look at that sunset.
We got some good ones here.
Oh, no, we got some great ones. I go often to a little at the edge right there. It's like a little ramp that leads you all the way down to the beach, but I don't go down. I just go like right next to. It's a lot of big houses there, so I sneak right in
Nice.
between. It's a little path, a good view.
You'll have to show us that secret.
Oh yeah, I will.
Love it. What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? I have to go with fufu.
Okay.
Fufu. That's the African dish right there.
What's in it?
Fufu is just like you can make it with a lot of different powders, but the original is with the semolina,
Okay. Yep.
And then you boil the hot water and you pour the semolina in there, turn until it becomes hard, and then you eat it with you're supposed to eat it with your hands. Don't never eat it with a fork. Don't ever eat it with a spoon. Eat it with your hands, and then eat it with spinach or chicken. A little side with it. It's the best.
You make it?
Oh, I know how to make it. I'm a chef. Don't get it twisted. I'm a chef.
What's the best thing you cook?
The best thing I cook is probably I make this fish stew with rice. Oh, man, you would love it. I might have to make it for you now that you asked.
I mean, I'm not going to turn that down. It sounds amazing.
All right.
How did you learn to cook, or when? Did you just grow up cooking?
I'm a big observer, so I watched my dad cook a lot, as well as my mom when I was younger. And watching them, I learned a little bit about the spices. But and my uncle actually taught me how to cook. He lives in Texas.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like my second home because he stays there. So we used to go there a lot, pretty much every summer. And he would always call me in the kitchen, or sometimes it would be 2 a.m. He's waking me up. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, come on, come with me. We gonna go make some food. And so from that, I learned how to fix a couple of things for myself.
Love it. What about pizza? What do you put on your pizza?
Pizza, onions, olives, pineapples.
Okay.
Pineapples
Right.
go on pizza.
Okay.
Pineapples go on pizza.
All right.
Pineapples, and then sometimes I'll throw a little spinach on there, depending on how I'm feeling, and then mushrooms.
Okay. It's a lot.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot. You call that deluxe pizza, baby.
That's fantastic. Montreal bagel or New York bagel?
I'll have to take the Montreal bagel because I've never had the New York ones. I've only been to Brooklyn once, but other than that, I've never been to New York. So I'm glad I haven't, because I'm sure their bagels are pretty good. But I'll stay loyal to my city.
No, yours are fantastic. I wish they would export them here. Yeah. What about smoked meat or poutine?
Poutine, man. Don't you ask me anything or poutine other than fufu, I'm picking poutine.
I know it can be made different ways. So what's the best recipe, or what do you want in there?
So the best lately, when I was back in Montreal, they used to just have, it's just fries, gravy, cheese, just simple.
But now there's a lot of
nowadays I hear
yeah.
they throw bacon on there, they throw chicken on there, and I'm like, hold on, that's what we're doing now. So I haven't had one of those fancy poutines yet, because I've been away from home for a while, and I am not trying no poutine from out here. I have to wait till I get back home.
I think that is wise.
Yeah. But I feel like I'll probably like the one with. It depends on who cooks the chicken, but I'll probably like the one with chicken, or sprinkle a little bacon on there.
Okay.
That'd be perfect right there.
Got the chef's kiss going on it.
Man.
What's one thing about you that would surprise even your friends?
That would surprise even my friends. I would probably say my ability to adjust in every environment. That's something that I surprise people with that, because sometimes they'll be like, all right, he's my friend, and then we go or next to somebody else, and I'm talking to them how I always talk to them, and like, wait, hold on, what's going on here? And just people get surprised, but being in so many environments, I kind of learned how to be with certain people. You can't talk to everybody the same. You're not gonna talk to your friends how you talk to your dad, and that's the same thing with different people in different environments. So I feel like that's something that would surprise them if they knew.
Very impressive. Singing or dancing?
See, I dance a lot, but then I sing in the shower. So it's which one do I pick?
You got that sneaky vocal range?
Yeah, see, I can surprise people.
Okay.
But
all right.
then, it has to be in the closed doors. So
Got it.
whenever I know people are not listening to me, then I could go.
Fair enough.
That's when I'm best. When people are listening to me, I'm not that good.
I think you'd surprise us. Favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday is Christmas.
Okay.
Out the question. Probably because I get to see family. If it's one sibling, 5 siblings, or everyone, I get to see people on Christmas, and that's what makes the holiday for me, just seeing that family.
Pancakes, waffles, or French toast?
Waffles.
Anything on them?
Maple syrup. Straight from the tree. Straight from the tree. They got the good maple syrup straight from the tree back home.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Reading or writing?
Writing. I'm a big writer.
Do you journal?
I journal some things, but I feel like I'm a better writer when it comes to, all right, just put a paper down and just write something. Or like when I get assignments a lot in my classes and they tell me pick a topic and write 10 pages. To me, that's a cakewalk.
Nice. That's a good skill to have.
Yeah.
Podcasts or playlists?
Probably playlists. If you saw my phone right now, man, I got plenty of playlists.
What are you listening to before a game?
Before a game, I will probably some artists you do not know because some are in French.
I got Celine Dion. That's about the extent of it.
Yeah, that one before a game might put me to sleep.
Not so much.
But I listen to a lot of rap music in French because I know a lot of the words. But I also like to listen to certain artists that get me going. You know, like I would say Future is a good one. Drake is a good one. Drake is always up there. And then another artist, Lil Uzi Vert. He's for sure. I have like his music is. It's not the best in terms of what he's saying, but it's just the beat behind it. The beat behind it it goes too crazy. You can't not like the song.
A well-produced track can go so long regardless of what the lyrics are. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate chip cookie, though, for sure.
Okay. Which one of your teammates thinks they're the funniest?
Man, that's probably about 3 of them. Who thinks they're the funniest? I think Roddy for sure thinks he's the funniest. Mike thinks he's the funniest. And the actual funniest to me, it might have to be Vuk. Vuk is a funny guy.
How so?
He's a funny guy. He just sometimes jokes don't hit the same with certain people, but with Vuk, I just feel like the humor he has, it just makes me laugh, man. It just makes me laugh, and we laugh pretty much every day. Every time I see him, it's always a laughter. It's always a good time.
That's fantastic. Which of your teammates is the best cook? Or is it you?
Me?
Okay.
Oh, hold on. I might be in competition with Kaz.
Oh, yeah?
I might be in competition with Kaz. Kaz could cook.
What's on his menu?
I don't know exactly what's on his menu, but I know he grilled for us once in the summer when I was still pretty new to here, and he brought us together a little spot by the pool, and he grilled for us. So I'm grateful for that, and I remember it. But I also know that he knows what he's doing in the kitchen.
Your team recently played at Hawaii on those long flights. How do you pass the time? And how do you fit in the seat? I guess maybe is a better question.
How you fit in the seat is a great question. On the flights, okay, so the most unfortunate thing happened to me on the way there. I downloaded movies on HBO Max to be able to watch them. So you know how you download it and when you're offline it works?
Yeah.
I downloaded them and I exited the app on the exit because sometimes I just swipe up and exit every app on my phone. And when I went back, I took a little nap, woke up, went back to watch the movies, and it wouldn't let me because it said I didn't have Wi-Fi. And so I couldn't watch none of the movies I was getting ready to watch Black Adam, and I was gonna watch what's the other movie, Justice League War. I watch a lot of cartoon and anime and stuff because I'm pretty open minded about everything, so I watch everything. Yeah.
Arizona or Texas, summer or Montreal, winter?
That's a great question. I'll take Texas summer. Texas summer because Montreal winter, nah, you can't do it. It's sometimes the snow gets like up to I'm taller now, but when I was younger, it was getting to my hips, and they were canceling school, and sometimes the heater breaks because it's so cold.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's hard. But in Texas in the summer, like you can have the AC in the house going, and it's not too bad at night. Arizona is just bad. Arizona is just bad. I saw somebody cook an egg on the car when I was in Arizona, and that's when I knew it was too much.
Yikes. All right, we'll end here. If you could play one other sport at UC San Diego for a day, which team would you be on?
Tell the men's soccer to put me on.
Love it. What position?
I'll be a striker. It's like I was actually pretty good. I didn't have I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I didn't have the skills and all that like Neymar does, but I for sure can shoot. I was more of a Ibrahimovic type guy. So I just make sure, physique, and once I kick it, it's going somewhere near the net.
Yeah, I love it. Emmanuel, thanks for the time.
Alrighty, thank you. Appreciate you.